that you're doing it on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Welcome, everybody, to Later with Jason Suel. So glad you're tuned in on this Saturday night, or wherever and whenever you're tuning in from on the World Wide Web. Bo Counts is here, as always. Hey, Bo, great to see you.
Hey, likewise. Good to be here,
yes.
As always.
So we're kind of unofficially launching into summer. I feel like we're past that midway point in May.
I think it's official.
You think it's official?
Point. We've launched.
Here we go.
Sprung boarded, and now we're just taking the deep dive into summer. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too. It's going to be the best summer since the summer of 2019. Remember that way back in the day?
Kind of. There was like a weird dark period that was a little fuzzy. I don't remember, but I think this summer we are in for many treats.
Many treats. What is a summer activity that you are most looking forward to? Maybe this summer. I don't know. It could be different than our other summers. Summer 2021. What are you looking
Air
for?
conditioning. Yeah, I love air conditioning in the summer. Canoe trips, man. Canoe trips are one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love them. And I haven't seen a lot of my friends in a long time, so it's going to be really great to get back out in the great outdoors.
And before we get to that, I just learned that you are Mr. Snacks. I mean, I should have known this, right? But you were telling us about a tip that you give some folks about heating up Chex Mix.
Oh,
something.
Dude.
Can you tell me?
Yeah, well, at Pinpoint, one of our house snacks is my Chex Mix, and it's a secret blend of a handful of different things, and you gotta heat it up. Don't just eat cold Chex Mix. That's for barbarians.
It's for barbarians. That's a great tip for all you viewers out there right now. That's right. You don't want to be a barbarian. Heat up your Chex Mix for sure. Hey, we got a great episode lined up for you tonight. We've got Ro Bailey joining us on the show from Interform, talking all things fashion with the fashionista herself. It's going to be a great segment. And then one of my dear friends, Jessie Pierre, you may know her, you may have seen her on Fox 24 as a reporter, but she also can cook. And she is cooking us up some mean dishes on tonight's show. And then we've got the wonderful music of Kaylin Faye. She's a friend of the show. She's been on before, but she's back with a new music video, and I can't wait to check that out. So stick around. All that stuff's happening later. Well, we are here at Sam's Furniture, and we've got Jenny Sorey from Hub of Hope. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me, and thank you to Sam's for providing the opportunity.
Man, we love it here. They always set us up so nice. They put us on a really comfy couch
today.
Very
comfy, very comfy.
Very comfy. Tell us about the work Hub of Hope does in our community.
I would love to. So we are a nonprofit based here in Northwest Arkansas. We work to bring healing and opportunities to victims of human trafficking, and we provide prevention and education to the community. So we do that in a variety of ways. We do a lot of awareness and education events where we teach the public to recognize the markers and identifiers of human trafficking. And then we also do lots of outreaches. Our hope is to come in contact with survivors, many who don't even know that they're a victim of a crime, and help them move from that place of entrapment, enslavement, exploitation into a life of freedom and restoration and healing.
I love that. Say I wanted to get involved. How would I do it?
Hey, we love volunteers. In fact, at this time we are an all-volunteer organization, and so you could reach us on hubofhope.org, and we're also on social media at Hub of Hope NWA.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. We
Thanks
appreciate
for having
you.
me. Boom. Hey.
Ooh.
Come on.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you're tuned in tonight. Joining us right now, we've got the one and only amazing Ro Bailey joining us. Ro, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I can't wait to talk to you because you're out there, you're always working so hard. Right now you're promoting and you're attached to an organization called Interform. But Interform is kind of the combination of two previous organizations. So let's just fill everybody in. What is Interform?
Absolutely. So Interform is actually Arkansas Arts and Fashion Forum and Northwest Arkansas Fashion Week combined. So it's definitely a lot easier to say, right? And Interform means the mutual expression of art, fashion, and community. It's actually a made up word by our CEO, Robin. She's just awesome out here making up words. So, but it's from the producers who brought you Northwest Arkansas Fashion Week.
That's right. And talk to us about a little bit of the reason for that rebrand and combining those two things. Can you fill us in on kind of what your thought process was in that?
Absolutely. We wanted to just have a uniform name for organizations that do the same thing, essentially, because Arkansas Arts and Fashion Forum and Northwest Arkansas Fashion Week are both focused on fashion, community, and art. So what better way to do that than just combine the two? And we also didn't want to geo-center ourselves, right? Because when you hear Northwest Arkansas Fashion Week, everybody's like, well, oh, that's only in Arkansas, or you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that can attract too some kind of global talent and some global people who want to get involved with Interform as well, which is pretty exciting. But let's back it up a step. For you, Ro, talk to us about your passion for fashion, because I know that you are a fashionista, you know? Yeah, so talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I have been in fashion for quite some time. I'm gonna show my age a little bit, but I'm over 30. That's all you need to know.
That's all.
But
That's good.
I was fascinated by fashion, but a little frustrated with the fashion industry standards as far as size, and you're too big to do this or too, short to do this. And so I kind of found my own way, and me finding Northwest Arkansas Fashion Week at the time, because now we're Interform. Their focus to diversity and inclusion really attracted me, and I wanted to be a part of it. And so since then, I've just been really passionate about letting people know that you don't have to be a size 00 to, do or be in fashion. There's so many different avenues, and everybody's listening to people who aren't in fashion at all. Like, you can't be a model, you're only 5'6". It's like, what? You work at the gas station, which there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to listen to people who have a little bit more experience. So I'm glad that I can, steer people in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And being open with that diversity and inclusion initiative, we know is so important. Absolutely. And that leaves it open for folks like Bo and I. We could even get into fashion, right? Am I right, Bo?
Yes, you can.
I actually hosted the first 2 fashion weeks. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Oh,
but
yeah, bro.
yeah, back when Artemis was one of the premier organizers of Fashion Week. That's actually where Robin and I knew each other, as old Artemis days.
Yes,
yeah, I was the MC.
She was part of that.
Yeah, I was the emerging designer night and all that fun stuff. Yeah, dude, I've let myself go a little bit. I need to get back into it, but
Oh, you still look good, Bo.
You do.
Oh, you guys.
But it is interesting to see kind of the reinvention of the fashion maybe industry here in Northwest Arkansas, making it and keeping it relevant for today's audience, which I feel like what Interform really is striving to do. And speaking of all of that, you have a really exciting month of June that's coming up. Ro, can you give us some details on what's happening with Interform in the month of June?
Yes, absolutely. So we're kicking off May 29th with the first runway show since 2019. Wow. That's like a huge deal to me because, COVID messed everything up. So we're starting off by kicking Art Annual, which is a month-long series of art and performances and curator events the whole month of June. So the whole month of June, people in Arkansas are going to get to see community members and people that they know, like, I didn't know they did art, or I didn't know they did this, I didn't know they did that, and just really provide a platform for local creatives in the community. I, of course, am excited about the fashion show on the 29th, but after that, it's going to be a month-long series of events of fashion.
Got it. So you're kicking it off. Yeah, you're kicking it off on May 29th to launch you into June, which is going to be full of fashion and art. And is it going to be at multiple locations throughout Northwest Arkansas and the state? Where is it kind of located?
Mainly in Springdale. We're going to have exhibitions in First Security Bank along Emma, and then the runway show is actually going to be on the street on Emma. We're like shutting the whole street down. It is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I feel like downtown Springdale is primed for something like that. That's awesome. Bo, did you ever think when you were hosting this event with Artemis in partnership that it would be something that closed down a whole street in a major Northwest Arkansas city?
I mean, we did a lot of weird stuff back in those days. We were pushing the envelopes that people didn't even know had envelopes for it at the time. But to see something like that just keep growing and keep evolving and going into airplane hangars and now in the middle of the streets and incorporating all these different ideas and philosophies, it's so amazing to see the journey that it's become and the forms that it's taken. So I think this new name is such a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So if folks want to stay up to date with what you have going on at Interform, Ro, what's the best way for us to find you?
Well, if you're on social media, go to interform.art on Instagram. We're also Interform Fashion on Facebook, and you can also go to our website where tickets will be available. So that's interform.art.
Awesome. Ro, we so appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us and for giving us fashion tips as always. And we're going to hit the runway at some point. Bo, I feel like that's in our immediate future. What do you say?
Yeah, we're going to be like, it's going to be the new Zoolander. That's going to be, you get to be Derek and I get to be the Owen Wilson guy. Yeah, Blue Steel.
That's right. That's right. We're going to work on it, folks. We're going to work on strutting our stuff. Stay with us. We got more happening later.
Smith & Associates Real Estate is a proud sponsor of Later with Jason Suel. They're excited to be a part of the growth and continued success in Northwest Arkansas.
Windows open 'cause it's getting warmer. Can't afford to turn the AC on. Doesn't matter much, wouldn't change nothing. I prefer the sound of an old wind song. Ooh, ooh. Man, I really need to call my mother and my friend that I left out west. She's probably hanging out her broken Jeep window, driving through the tall grass as the sun sets. Ooh, ooh. And it's been a long week, I just wanna kick back. Head to the bar with a few new friends, but I overheard a drunk man in a suit saying it's hard to find the time to make amends. Ooh, ooh. the sound of an old wind song. I prefer the sound of an old wind song. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Later with Jason Suel. So glad you're tuned in. And I am so glad to be watching her kitchen right now. Jessie Pierre is joining us. You might know Jessie from Fox 24. She's one of the reporters on the channel. Jessie, thanks so much for taking the time to cook up something amazing for us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. And we're going to make one of my favorite dishes, which is salmon. I love salmon.
Oh, man, that's so great. So all I've heard is amazing things about your cooking. People at the station are always talking about how great a job you do in the kitchen. So, yeah, go ahead and get started. Tell us what we need to know about this salmon.
So now, obviously, with the weather getting nicer, we're looking for healthy meals. So this is a healthy, quick meal that you can do. So I have all my ingredients here. I have my salmon that has been washed. I have some onions. I have some sweet peppers. And then over here, I have my broccoli, sweet potato, and corn on the cob. And I also have some lemons to add for flavor for my salmon. So now the first thing you're going to do is, because the sweet potatoes take a little bit longer time, so this is a potato that I've already cut and peeled, okay? And so now you're going to cut them in kind of like the size for French fries. I already have some pre-cut in the oven. So in the pan, just like this, you have olive oil, and it's pretty much, ooh, it's getting a little hot. It's pretty much all on one side. You put olive oil over the whole thing, and then you are letting it bake, okay?
Yeah.
And I kind of just keep my eye on it. Once it's all ready, what you're gonna do is flip it to the other side. So I already have some corn on the cob that I've washed, that I've taken out the skin and so forth. I broke it in half to make it easier, and throwing that in there to cook. So now let's get started with the salmon. I'm gonna put a little olive oil, and if you have, vegetable oil or so forth, you can use that as well. And then start heating that up. And then we have some sweet peppers and we have onions. Okay, now don't judge me. This is a full onion. Okay.
Go for it. That's a lot of
onions.
flavor. That's a lot of flavor. No judgment here.
And the sweet peppers, and you're gonna throw that in, and let that saute for a little bit in your pan. Which hopefully the oil is hot enough.
Right.
But you can always kind of raise the temperature and let that cook. Now, again, I get all the flavoring from my salmon. So I usually like to do a Cajun spice. Or like an adobe, like one of those all-purpose seasoning, and just kind of throw it on my onions just to get that started. And then we'll focus on seasoning that salmon. So we'll let that kind of heat up and saute for a little bit. We have the sweet potato fries again that were cut just like regular fries. They're in the oven with olive oil. And then we have our corn on the cob boiling over here. So now with the salmon, I like to more than rinse it. So with a lemon, I cleaned it, I've rinsed it, and kind of like I use a lemon, kind of like to give it a bath.
Yeah.
So then it's all ready to go. So that same seasonings that I was suggesting before, the all-purpose seasoning, kind of get a little seasoning on both sides, and some of the Cajun spice. And I like the skin because I like to cook it so that the skin gets crispy. So, you don't have to get salmon with skin, but that's just a matter of preference. But I prefer for sure using that.
Do you think you think the skin adds anything to the flavor or to the taste, or do you think that it's just what you prefer?
I think it adds a lot more to the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, if you think of like chicken, I don't know, there's something about meat skin. It tastes good.
It does add something. You're right. Yeah.
I don't put salt on all my fish because the seasoning already has salt, but I do put a little bit on the skin. Again, it's just a flavoring situation for me, and that's kind of like how I like it. Now we're checking a little bit on the onions and kind of hoping, wanting this to to cook. And so now we're kind of just waiting. I mean, I'll probably put a top on my corn on the cob, and we can actually probably check on the sweet potatoes.
Yeah. So Jesse, while you're doing that, I have a question. How long do you think that this meal right here would take you, like from when you're starting cutting out the sweet potatoes all the way until you're plating at the end? If I was looking to do this for myself or for my family, like on an evening, how much time would I need in order to create the meal?
I can't imagine that it would be more than 30 minutes.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and plate that meal and create it. We're gonna go to commercial, but as we go to commercial, I think we can show a picture of what this final product is gonna be. So Jesse, keep doing what you're doing, and folks, you need to stick around because we got more happening later. That's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. You can even send us an email, laterwithjasonsuel.com. You can even check out all of our old content. We got interviews. We've got some fun shorts. We even have fun with puppets. It's all on our YouTube channel. Just search Later with Jason Suel. Before we leave this episode, though, let's thank all of our guests, including the food of the amazing one and only Jessie Pierre.
And of course, it was always great having Ro Bailey from Interform on. She's a hoot.
Yes, and I love the music of Kaylin Faye. That's our show. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.